Never stop reading the Bible. Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're tackling one of the most shocking and frankly difficult stories from the book of Judges. It's a story that shows just how fragile a nation can be, and how one single, horrific crime can threaten to tear it all apart.
You know, this isn't just some historical account. It's really the dark, final chapter of an entire era. It's a picture of a society that is right on the edge of total collapse. A chilling look at what happens when a people completely lose their moral bearings.
So the big question is, how does this even happen? How do you get from the death of one woman to a full-blown civil war? Well, to get it, you have to follow this tragic domino effect where every terrible decision just cascades into something even worse. So let's dive in.
Okay, so our story kicks off with a Levite and his concubine. They're traveling, it's getting dark, and they need a place to stay for the night in the land of Benjamin. All they're looking for is some basic hospitality, but this simple act is about to set off an absolutely devastating chain of events.
I mean, just look at how quickly this descends into absolute chaos. What starts as a simple act of kindness, an old man offering them a place to stay, is completely shattered when a mob from the city surrounds the house, making these violent demands. By sunrise, the concubine is dead on the doorstep. In just a matter of hours, a search for shelter spiraled into a crime that violated every single rule of decency and protection their society was built on.
So in his grief and just white-hot fury, the Levite does something that is, well, it's almost unimaginable. He does it to force the other tribes of Israel to look this atrocity right in the face.
He takes his concubine's body and he cuts it into 12 pieces.
Yeah, it's a desperate and horrifying strategy. He dismembers her body and then sends one piece to each of the 12 tribes. The message was brutal, visceral, and absolutely impossible to ignore. It was a demand, really. You have to punish this evil. He forced the entire nation to confront what had happened. And you know what? It works. The tribes are completely horrified. The message gets through loud and clear. They assemble a massive army, all united with a single goal: bring the men from Gibeah to justice.
So you have this standoff. The alliance of Israelite tribes goes to the tribe of Benjamin and makes a pretty straightforward demand: hand over the guilty men. But this is the moment where a quest for justice takes a terrible, terrible turn. The Benjamites refuse. They choose to protect the criminals and prepare for war. And just like that, it's a civil war.
Now, you'd think the much larger alliance would win easily, right? But shockingly, no. The first two battles were an absolute disaster for them. They were defeated twice, losing tens of thousands of men. It was only after seeking divine help and going into a third, desperate battle that they finally managed to crush the Benjamites.
So the war is finally won, but the cost is just staggering. And in the silence after the battle, the Israelites realize their hunt for justice has accidentally created a brand new, totally unforeseen crisis.
600. That's it. Only 600 men are left alive from the entire tribe of Benjamin. The rest have been completely wiped out. The survivors run off into the wilderness, and their tribe is now on the very brink of disappearing forever.
And all that righteous anger that fueled the war, it's suddenly gone, replaced by this profound regret. The victors are now grieving, realizing with horror that they've almost destroyed one of their own tribes.
But here's the real kicker. They're trapped by their own words. You see, before that last battle, in the heat of their anger, they swore a reckless oath that none of them would ever give their daughters to a Benjamite in marriage. And now, that oath means those 600 survivors can't marry. The tribe is facing total extinction, all because of a promise made in rage.
So, stuck because of their own oath, the Israelites come up with a couple of plans to save the tribe of Benjamin. And these solutions are, well, they're ethically disturbing, to say the least.
Their solution really just shows a complete moral freefall. First, they attack the city of Jabesh-Gilead because they didn't join the war. They kill everyone except 400 virgins, who are then captured and given as wives. But oops, they're still 200 wives short. So what's their second solution? They tell the remaining Benjamites to go hide and just kidnap 200 women during a festival. It's just unbelievable. They commit a massacre and then sanction mass kidnapping to fix a problem they created.
So when you step back and look at the whole picture, the pattern is devastating. A horrific crime is committed. The call for justice leads to a civil war. The war nearly wipes out a tribe, and the solution is just more violence and abduction.
The whole thing shows a society where the line between justice and vengeance has been completely, tragically erased.
And that leaves us with this haunting question, one that really sticks with you. If your quest for justice just ends up creating another tragedy, then what is true justice? It's a really powerful and disturbing conclusion that forces you to think about the dangerous path a society walks when its moral compass is well and truly broken.
This explainer was brought to you by the Center Studio.